Hey guys, my name is John Kermani. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the brand new iPhone 11. Now, this is my first video, so it's most likely not even going to be edited. I just don't have the time and, capital to be doing that type of stuff right now. But definitely when I do, I'll try to edit my videos and, make them look good and stuff. But nonetheless, this is the iPhone 11. It was released, I believe, September 21st. I just got it in here. iPhone, you can see right there. Now this phone box belongs in that spot right over there. But for this video, I'm going to be unboxing it for you guys. Now, I've already went ahead, unboxed it, and, set it up and everything. But I thought I'd re-unbox it for all of you folks that love unboxings. Now, as you can see, it is the 64 gigabyte model. And let me cover up my IMEI. It's the iPhone 11 Red, 64 gigabytes, assembled by Apple in California. Designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. It's the product Red, which means a portion of the revenue that they got from my phone purchase will go to fighting AIDS. I think it's a great cause. Great cause, great color. How can you go wrong with that? Nonetheless, let's get right into it. iPhone 11, this is the one that retails for $699. This is the product Red version. There are 5 other colors: black, white, there's a green, a purple, and a yellow. But yeah, today I have the red one, and let's go ahead and unbox it. Now, when I turn the phone on, it's going to be all ready to go. But let me put this stuff to the side right there. Here's the phone, and you can see it just turned on. That's because I already set everything up. Here's the phone, and guys, it just looks like $1,000,000. Like those 2 cameras right there. Apple logo, that's beautiful. The product Red branding right there. And now if we look to the sides, volume down, volume up, this is your mute and ringer switch. iPhones have that feature, so do OnePlus phones, but iPhones are famous for it. Here on this side, on the right side, is your power button. We've got nothing at the top. And on the right side, I believe towards the bottom it is. Yep. And right over here, you can see there is a SIM card slot right over here. There's also antenna bands right here, you can see. Not really that important, but they're still on the side of the phone, so why not? They're actually on every side, I believe. Yep. And yep. There's an antenna band on each side. Now, you can see that little flashing dot right there. That's actually Face ID. It shoots infrared dots on your face to project the 3D model of your face. To capture it and to authenticate and let you in. So that's what that is. If you ever wondered why when you take a video of your phone, you can kind of see that little flashing dot, that's what that is. So let's zoom back out. So yeah, nonetheless, this is the phone. 6.1 inch display, weighs 194 grams, so it's not that heavy. It's IP68 water and dust resistant up to 2 meters for 30 minutes. Apple Pay. You can add all your cards to it. It won't work as many as places as Samsung Pay will, but it's still pretty good. Over here in the United States, I got this unlocked. Shout out to Apple Queen Center Mall. So I can activate this on Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, or T-Mobile. All CDM and GSM carriers are supported. No problems there. You should be able to take this international and it will work just perfectly fine. It's 8.3 millimeter thick, so that's actually important because that's a lot thicker than Apple usually goes. And the reason why that is because Apple put a 3110 milliamp hour battery in here. And you may be wondering, 3110, what's so important about that number? Well, if you look at the XS Max last year, that was their $1,100 phone. That had a 3174 milliamp hour battery in it. So their $1,100 phone's battery size is similar to their $700 phone's battery size this year. And I think you guys can kind of, go from there and just predict that it's going to have a lot better battery life. And for my usage, that is so far true. It'll get you about an hour longer than the XR for those of you that have the XR. Phenomenal battery life. I'm averaging about 6 hours of screen on time on this phone at the moment. So for the first time, Apple actually made their phones thicker to get better battery life, which is something they would never use. They never used to do that. So I'm actually surprised this time. It doesn't come with an OLED display. This is an IPS display. It's what do you call it? A liquid retina is what they like to call it. It's liquid retina basically means curving the corners of the screen at each like curve radius. They just curve the like at each sorry, let me show you. So at each corner they're like curving the display over here. That's like that justifies calling a phone liquid retina. Just fancy marketing, you know, like all companies do, fancy marketing. 6.1 inches and 79% screen to body ratio. Not the best screen to body ratio, but then again, it's not the most expensive phone out. You know, if you wanted to compare like the top of the top, you'd be looking at the iPhone 11 Pro Max, not this. It's screen, right? It is an LCD, but it's 828 by 1792. Wait, let me just unlock this because it's just keep turning off. So there you go. You know, it looks pretty nice to the eye. Like you don't notice. Like I mean, it looks pretty good. Like if you're switching from a 10R, from an 8 Plus, 8, anything earlier, you're gonna think it's great. Just as good as your other phones, a lot better actually. You're not gonna have any problems with it. That's like what I'm trying to say. So it's usually a problem-free display. Most people don't have any problems with it. But it is 828 by 1792. Now, if that sounds like a really bad resolution to you, that's because it is. And that leaves the phone with 326 pixels per inch, which is not good by today's standards. That is one area the iPhone 11 is lacking in. But, you know, as we go through this review, I'll tell you about a lot of other things about this phone that make this definitely worth it for its price tag. The aspect ratio is 19.5 by 9, so it's getting, you know, it's maintained the aspect ratio since the iPhone 10. Other phones are trying to increase their aspect ratio to match this. Apple had this since 2017, so I guess other manufacturers found out that 18 by 9 didn't work. 16 by 9 they moved from a long time ago, but now they're slowly creeping up to 19.5, 20, even 21 by 9 with Sony phones. So, you know, this can hit a max of 625 nits. I believe the iPhone 11 Pro series can hit about 800, so this definitely isn't even close to, you know, the iPhone 11 Pro series, but then again, the price isn't either. It's a 60 hertz display, so you're I keep messing up, sorry. Not anything special, you know, it's just normal 60 hertz, but its touch refresh rate is 120 hertz, so it's going to check, the screen is going to check 120 times per second to see if my finger touched it to register a touch. That's what gives iOS its really, you know, smooth, you know, user experience. That's why people love it. And I think that's like part of the secret sauce. But besides that, it's got a wide color gamut. You can, you know, do True Tone on here. Sorry, not that. Right here, True Tone, which is right here. I have it off for this video, otherwise it's going to keep like adjusting my brightness up and down like crazy. And I won't be able to shoot the video. So I have it off at the moment, but usually I keep it on. I think it's a great thing to keep on. Now, it's important to note, when this phone came out, it came with the iOS 13.0, and that was very buggy. Now we're up to iOS 13.2, and Apple has addressed a lot of the bugs that the phone came with. You know, I still have, like, there's some certain bugs that the phone will still do, but hopefully Apple will hash those out in, you know, newer versions of iOS. The CPU in this phone, the Apple A13 Bionic, is a 7nm plus CPU. It's an EUV chip. You know, you might be going like, what is that? It, you know, just take my word for it. It's the best of the best. You're not gonna find any CPU that's gonna give you faster performance, like raw performance, on the entire market. Android, iPhone, anything. The CPU that's in the iPhone 11 is equal to the one that's in the iPhone 11 Pro series, so you don't have to worry about getting a slower phone if you go with the 11. You know, I'm gonna go over all of the drawbacks towards the end, like compared to the Pro series, and yeah, but definitely, I would say that you know, the chip is not one of them. The chip is definitely just as good, you know, as the Pro series, and it might actually perform better because it's running at a lower resolution. So it actually might load things up faster for all I know. It does not have an SD card slot. You know, Apple's never going to put an SD card slot in. If you want more gigabytes, they're obviously going to make you buy the higher gigabyte version of the phone. That's kind of a given. Let's see right here. Let me show you guys. General, about, and let's see, where can we see the storage amount? Capacity, right there, 64 gigabytes. And I still have 38 36.89 left. It gives you a little mini rundown right here. I think I'm pretty good. Like, I don't, I don't really need, whatever, like 256, 128. I was pretty good with 64, so that's why I got this. Pretty satisfied with 64, and it's economical. So $699 was definitely not a bad price. This is a great phone to get for $699. A lot of people are invested in the Apple ecosystem. I would hands down recommend this in like 2 seconds to anybody that wants to get a new iPhone. Get the 11. Do not get the 11 Pro. It's not worth it. I actually used the 11 Pro Max for about a month before I sold it. Then I got the Pixel 4, sold that, then I got this, because I thought I'd review it. I switch phones like crazy. I've got phone boxes all across this table, and I'm just an up and coming YouTuber. So that should tell you that I have access to a lot of phones, just because I run a business, I sell, I buy phones, I go through a lot of them. So I can usually get you some good content on some of the recent phones. So it doesn't have an SD card. We talked about that. Apple's never gonna put an SD card in here. Let me put this phone down for a second. Apple's never gonna put an SD card in here. That we all know. Let's talk, what else could we talk about? Oh, yeah, the camera. Now, I'm going to flip this around, and I know what you're all going to think. How many are there? You guys can obviously see that there's only 2 cameras. Now, a lot of you know that the iPhone 11 Pro series comes with 3 cameras. So you guys might automatically go like, oh, I got the 11, I get worse cameras. But this is like the furthest thing from the truth. Let me explain it to you guys. See this camera up here, right? This camera up here is a 12 megapixel f1.8 26mm wide lens, right? It's like the completely normal, like 1/2.5 inch sensor. Everything is good, dual pixel, all the good stuff, right? This camera right here is the equal camera to the normal iPhone 11 Pro camera. So this is the normal camera. Like when you open your camera and you just snap a photo, it'll use this, and it's the same exact camera that's used on the iPhone 11 Pro series, right? Now, if we move one down, this is the ultra wide camera. It's also 12 megapixels, but it's f2.4, 13 millimeters, so we went down by half. So the old one was 26, this is 13, which basically means this is going to be really wide. 13 is going to be really wide, 26 is going to be normal. When you zoom in like twice, it'll be like 52. But 13 is really wide, right? F2.4, 12 megapixels. And again, this camera lens right here is the exact same ultra wide used on the iPhone 11 Pro series. So what exactly are we missing? We're missing a 12 megapixel telephoto, and like iPhone 7 Plus, 8 Plus, 10s Max, 10s, the 10, they all had their secondary cameras as, as telephoto lenses, and most people didn't even realize, the significance of a telephoto lens. It's just to help you zoom. Honestly, ultra wide is way more useful, and I'll show you guys what I mean by ultra wide. So I'm gonna turn on the phone right here. Give me a second. Okay, the phone is on. Turn the brightness up a little bit so you guys can see. And we'll go to the camera. Turn the brightness a little down. So as you can see, this is the standard view. You can see that those S10 Plus letters right here, the iPad box. As soon as I click this button right here next to the shutter, next to the word photo, that says 1x, and I click it, whoa, you guys saw that, right? So we went from only being able to see the box, like 2 boxes, no plants, basically no plants, and now we can see most of the table, the pictures above the S10 Plus boxes, both plants and everything. So basically, think of it as instead of zooming in, you're zooming out. You're gonna be able to capture pictures of your whole family and stuff like that. It's a really versatile lens. So you're basically getting 66% of the iPhone 11 Pro lenses, and those 66% of those iPhone 11 Pro lenses, because there's only 2 and the iPhone 11 Pro series has 3, are the most important lenses. You don't really, the telephoto lens doesn't really matter. I'm telling you, definitely don't think of camera when you're considering between the iPhone 11 Pro series and the 11 series. There's basically no difference. So don't sweat it if you're really into photography, because you're still gonna get a great camera out of the iPhone 11 at $699. I'm just gonna put it to you honestly. Wow, this one's already gotten dirty. See, that's what happens when you've got that glossy glass back. The iPhone 11 Pro series has got matte glass on the back. So it's actually interesting. This glass is glassy, but you'll notice that the camera glass is matte. It's all milled out of one piece of glass, so it goes from one glass a piece to another. Like it's the same piece of glass, but this has a glossy texture. This has matte. It's like milled out of one piece of glass. A lot of phones will have glass over here and then a metal ring and then the cameras, but this is all one piece of glass. On the iPhone 11 Pro series, it's reversed. It'll be matte over here and then glossy up for the camera square, the camera tumor as some people call it. But besides that, so the cameras, just like overall for the cameras, don't really worry about it because you're going to get like almost equivalent cameras to the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. So definitely don't care about that. The front camera is exactly the same. You can shoot 4K 60 on the back. You can shoot 4K 60 video on the front. I don't even have to say anything about the video. It's the best video on any smartphone, period. I know that. Everyone knows that. If you don't know that, wake up, smell the roses, and then admit that the iPhone camera is the best camera for video. And if you don't, then you're wrong. I don't know what to say, besides that. It comes with stereo speakers. I will note they're not as good as the iPhone 11 Pro series, but they're definitely very close. I would say like 95% of the audio quality. You're not gonna notice a big difference. No headphone jack, obviously. They got rid of it with the iPhone 7 series. Why would they bring it back? It makes them a lot of money when they sell all those dongles and AirPods. Speaking of AirPods, I actually have the AirPods Pro, and I'm gonna do a video on these about, let's say next week. Yeah, so I definitely have those in-house. We're going to talk about those. It comes with Dolby Atmos for the audio, so you're going to get good audio. It comes with Wi-Fi 6, the newest generation of Wi-Fi. So expect the best like Wi-Fi performance that you can get. Better Wi-Fi performance than on any iPhone that you were able to get before. Bluetooth 5.0, so you can connect to 2 devices at once. If you want to watch a movie with a friend and they have AirPods, you have AirPods, you can connect both of your guys' AirPods to the phone and it'll just work. Like you guys will both hear audio in both of your AirPods. So four single AirPods, 2 in your ear, 2 in your friend's ear, and it'll just work because Bluetooth 5.0 allows 2 different sets of AirPods to be connected to the phone at the same time, which is great. Now, it's still Lightning. That's pretty disappointing because most modern phones are at USB-C now. I would like to see Apple move to USB-C soon. They have already done so on their iPad Pros. It's the only port they use on their MacBooks. Just come on, just put it on the phone already. It supports 18 watt wireless charge. 18 watt fast charging, 10 watt wireless charging. The 18 watt fast charging it does support, but one thing to note, it doesn't come in the box. So we picked this up, your usual papers. You'll get your earpods right here, and under this, let's see if I can, under this, you'll get your standard USB-A to Lightning cable and a 5 watt brick. It's important to note on the iPhone 11 Pro series you get a USB-C to Lightning cable and you get an 18 watt brick. So you get much faster charging out of the box in the iPhone 11 Pro series, but worry not because you can actually buy the wire and the brick I'm talking about from the 11 Pro series and it'll work perfectly fine the exact same way on your iPhone 11. It'll actually charge your iPhone 11 faster than the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max because those have bigger batteries. Charging at the same speed, think about it, if you're charging at, if you're like driving at the same speed down a highway and all three are in a race, and then the iPhone 11 is just driving at a much shorter distance because it's got a much smaller battery. So you're actually going to get this charged up much quicker. Then again, it's going to last less time, but it's going to charge up quicker if you buy that 18 watt charger with that USB-C to Lightning cable, which I definitely recommend you guys do. Besides that, with that 18 watt charger, you can get to 50% in 30 minutes. That should give you an idea of what I'm talking about. It's pretty good. So, excellent battery life. Not so stellar display, but I can overlook that. Cameras are awesome, very versatile. Build is awesome, $699, 6 colors. You get your notch. You get it to look like every other iPhone X model, so why wouldn't you want one? And then, everything is, I would say this is a very good all-rounder phone for those that aren't that tech savvy. Now, if you're tech savvy, I would definitely say go with something like the 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max. The 11 Pro is 5.8 inches. The 11 Pro Max would be 6.5 inches. This is a perfect middle ground at 6.1. So definitely, if it's a size thing, and it can always be a size thing, even if you have like $1,500 to spare on a phone, you might not be able, you might not be comfortable with a 6.5 inch display phone. In which case, I wouldn't recommend going down all the way to the iPhone 11 Pro at 5.8. Maybe you go do this at 6.1. You're not losing much, and you get a display that's in the middle. One thing to note is that the LTE on here will get you 1 gigabit download over 150 megabits per second upload. On the iPhone 11 Pro series, it's 1.6 gigabit download, also 150 megabits per second upload, so faster LTE on the iPhone 11 Pro series. The iPhone 11 Pro series is going to weigh more, obviously. It's stainless steel instead of aluminum. The iPhone 11 Pro series is IP68 water and dust resistant 4 meters for 30 minutes instead of 2, but 2 is still great. It's better than the 1.5 that's in most phones, so you don't really have to worry about that. The resolution on the iPhone 11 Pro series is much better at 458 pixels per inch, 1242 by 2688 for the iPhone 11 Pro Max. iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max go up to 800 nits max brightness with Dolby Vision HDR10. This can't do that. It goes up to 625, and it doesn't get you Dolby Vision and HDR10, but it does get you Dolby Atmos audio, so you still get a premium audio experience, not so much when it comes to the actual display of the phone. So I'll unlock it. Yeah, if you just want to take a quick look at the display one last time, and it's not bad. So definitely, if you're switching from anything 8 or earlier, even the 10R, first of all, I don't recommend you switch from the 10R. It's not that different from the 10R, but you're not going to really notice the display quality issue. There's not, like, unless you're like a techie like me and you need like the best display, then you're going to notice, but like normal person, you're not going to notice. So you can calm down about the whole display thing. Now, they all come with an equal amount of RAM at 4 gigabytes of RAM. Don't have to worry about RAM. Now, you only get that extra lens on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max series, which is the telephoto, so that's the only thing you're missing. You get a much better battery on the 11 Pro and Pro Max, and those are the only differences. So this is a solid buy, I would say. At $699, it's amazing. Last year's iPhone XR was $749. It only had one camera. This year's it's 2 cameras. Everything is upgraded, and it's $50 less. So how could you not like something that actually got cheaper? So in my book, I would give this a solid 8 out of 10. A perfect recommendation for anybody that's looking to either get into the Apple ecosystem or wants to stay in it, but doesn't want to, get one of their kidneys removed to buy the phone, because the phones are getting so expensive nowadays. This is a perfect buy, and it comes in 6 colors. That's way more than what the Pro Series offers at 4. So, you can tap into your, colorful side, I guess. I don't know what to say about that. Great choice in colors, Apple's ecosystem, you get AirPods, integration, MacBook, iPad, all those great devices. All of that is great. You get the whole Apple's ecosystem, the whole Megillah. Everything is good there. And then, yeah, it's an iPhone, so it's just gonna work. That's why iPhones appeal to so many people. They just work, and I don't blame a lot of people. So even though you could find a lot better Android phones, like in terms of specs at this price, this is probably going to be my solid recommendation because of its accessibility, how easy you can get it, the trade-in programs Apple offers, accessory ecosystem, Apple ecosystem, all those things combined just make a great experience compared to like me saying go to eBay and get some Chinese Android phone that's better spec'd. That's not very convenient, no support, nothing. Apple has this big chain of stores and everything, their whole support ecosystem. So I think that this is personally my favorite phone at $699. I will be reviewing more phones. Like I said, I'm going to be reviewing AirPods next week, the AirPods Pro. I look forward to doing that video. But for the iPhone 11, I guess this has been it. I talked about everything, battery, features, sound, the cameras, memory, platform, display, body, everything. I don't think there's anything that I didn't cover. Oh yeah, one thing. You can take slow-fies. You can take slow-motion selfies. It's like the most I would say underrated thing. Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants to do it. But Apple is thinking it's something millennials like, which they're wrong about, because nobody likes that. Nobody wants to take slow-motion videos on the front. And they tried to make ads about it, and nobody cares. But in closing, great phone, $699. Just go buy it. Now, this was my first video. It's probably most likely not going to be edited. I'm just talking to you honestly. I know a lot about technology. I'm going to bring you all the knowledge I have in future videos with things like AirPods Pro, the newer Samsung phones that are going to come out. I have all Samsung phones here, AirPods, and there's more iPhone boxes over there. There's an iPad Pro box right there. We just unboxed, oh my God. We just unboxed the iPhone 11, and let me put this plant right where it was before it decided to flip. And yeah, that has been it, and I'm signing off. I've been John Kermani, and I shared all my knowledge with you, and I hope you have a great day.